Thanks a lot for the attention. I am Csunderlik, Hungarian historian, and in the Anna Kéthly Political School, I covered the period of the Hungarian social democracy in the first 2 decades of the 20th century. Now, I would like to give an example from this political school, and in this lecture, I would like to give you a brief introduction into the history of the most heroic age of the Hungarian social democratic movement, and I would like to give some recommendation what we can draw as a morale from this history, from the legacy of the Hungarian social democratic movement. First of all, I would like to give some conceptual question. With their help, we can put into a comparative frame of the different social democratic movements of various countries of Europe in order to give a comparative frame. The first one from this question is, what was the role and significance of the Social Democrats in establishing of statehood or in the process of state formation? The second one, what social democratic ideas or elements of the social democratic program have found their way into the constitutional orders of the new states? The third one, how did the Social Democrats do in the elections, and did they form part of the government? The fourth one, what was the relationship of the Social Democrats to the Communist Party or other left-wing Workers' Party? And fifth, what was the state of international links and exchanges with social democratic parties in other countries? And the sixth, what social democratic achievements at that time should be remembered? Now, the most important characteristics of the Hungarian social democratic movement and some facts in its history until 1918. The Hungarian labor movement imitated the German one, and its leaders were affected by the ideas of Ferdinand Lassalle, Karl Kautsky, and Eduard Bernstein. So the moderate, centrist theoreticians of the international labor movement. Interesting that the name of Lenin was unknown among the Hungarian intellectuals and politicians until 1917. The Social Democratic Party of Hungary, in brief SDP, Magyarországi Szociáldemokrata Párt in Hungarian, was founded in 1890. At that time, the Hungarian kingdom was one part of the Austro-Hungarian monarchy, the former Habsburg Empire. That explains why the Hungarian Social Democrats had the strongest linkages with the leaders of the German labor movement. The Hungarian Social Democratic Party started to politicize according to the directives of the Second International. So the political aim of the SDP in Hungary was not a revolutionary takeover, but becoming a mass party and entering the Hungarian parliament. Although Hungary was mostly an agrarian country, although the capital Budapest was an industrial center and there were other industrial cities in the countryside, in this agrarian country emerged a strong labor movement due to the help of the establishing the trade unions. Every member of the trade unions was counted as a party member. Now we can see the party newspaper, Népszava, in English, Voice of People, which was established firstly as a party kind of newsletter and was transformed into a daily in 1905. Ernő Garami was the editor of Népszava, and he was the president of the SDP. He was a centrist politician and strongly committed to the democratic ideas, and he opposed all dictatorial aspirations. Many demands of the Hungarian Social Democrats could be fulfilled in the first 2 decades of the movement. For instance, insurance for industrial workers was really important, but not the most important one. The universal, equal, and secret ballot was objected by the Hungarian political elites. Because at the turn of the 20th century, only 5 or 6% of the Hungarian population had the right to vote in Hungary, because there were strict restrictions for instance, the pecuniary census. Only well-to-do citizens could vote in the elections. That explains that although the party membership of the SDP reached almost 1 million until 1918, but they did not have social democratic representatives in the Hungarian parliament. Although the leadership of the SDP consisted of the most popular Hungarian politicians, they didn't have power until the revolution in 1918. The loss of World War I resulted in the so-called Aszter Revolution. The revolution took its name after its symbol, which is a popular Hungarian flower, also known as chrysanthemum. This revolution swept away the traditional conservative liberal Hungarian elite, and the most popular oppositional politician, the pacifist Mihály Károly, became the prime minister, and the revolutionary coalition government incorporated the SDP. The government form of Hungary became republic. When the SDP became government party in the fall of 1918, Hungary was threatened by disintegration because of the separatist movements of the oppressed minorities. The Social Democrats supported the progressive idea of national self-determination, and they demanded referenda in multi-ethnic regions. They also propagated anti-militarist politics and trusted in the Wilsonian idealism of the Entente powers. But they became disappointed, and in the spring of 1919, an unsuccessful armed resistance started against the disintegration of Greater Hungary. The elements of the Social Democrat program that found their way in the revolutionary period. SDP demanded that the government form of the independent Hungary to become republic with unicameral parliament without any kind of aristocrat upper house. Yes, after the triumph of the Aszter Revolution, the feudal parliament was dismissed, and the former oppositionary Hungarian National Council took over the role of legislation temporarily until the formation of the new democratic parliament via elections. We can see the members of the expanded Hungarian National Council included a feminist politician, signaling the beginning of a new democratic era in the history of Hungary. The issue of ballot. SDP demanded universal, equal, secret ballot for every citizen over the age of 20 without gender discrimination. But this demand was realized limitedly. In the fall of 1918, only those men got the right to vote who were over 21 years, and those women who were over 24 years and were literate. After transforming the People's Republic into the Soviet Republic with the collaboration of the communists in the spring of 1919, everyone over 18 got the right to vote, but the so-called reactionaries, for example, the clerics and the kulaks, were excluded from the elections in the Commune, and it was an anti-democratic measure. We can see the first women voters in the Hungarian history. The issue of land was another burning question. The Social Democrats demanded the nationalization of the mid and large estates and called for the collectivization of them, but their standpoint did not triumph in the civic democratic Károly regime. The Prime Minister and later President Mihály Károly wanted land distribution, and because he was one of the most wealthiest aristocrats of Hungary, his nickname was the Red Count. He started the land distribution with his own estate in February 1919. But the accepted land law could be carried out limitedly due to the fall of the Károly regime in March 1919. In the Hungarian Soviet Republic, the Social Democrats took the lead, the Commissariat of Agriculture, and they transformed large estates into the state cooperatives. But this decision, although was theoretically and ideologically correct, but it was unpopular, because the Hungarian agrarian proletariat wanted land distribution, wanted their own estates and not state cooperatives. The nationalization of factories and plants was accomplished only in the Hungarian Soviet Republic when every company employing more than 10 workers became nationalized. Yes, the role of the Social Democrat politicians in the civic democratic regime and in the Hungarian Soviet Republic. First, the Social Democrats got only one position in the coalition revolutionary government, in a Károly government. Ernő Garami became Minister of Commerce. Then Vilmos Böhm became Minister of Defense. But as the support of the Károly government was decreasing, the role of the Social Democrats in the government was increasing. So later, in the so-called petty bourgeois Berinkei government, the Social Democrats got 5 ministries. In the government of the Hungarian Soviet Republic, the so-called Revolutionary Government Council, there was only one communist commissar at first. Béla Kun became Commissar of Foreign Affairs. The other commissars were Social Democrats, including the leader of the Revolutionary Government Council, Sándor Garbai. But the communist Béla Kun had the effective leadership. So, the question is, what was the relationship between the SDP and the Communist Party of Hungary? First, the SDP was hostile, then allied, eventually, after the revolution of 1918-1919, hostile again to the Communist Party of Hungary. The Communist Party of Hungary founded in November 1918 and was organized by those Hungarian Bolsheviks, former prisoners of the World War, who were sent back from Soviet Russia in order to revolutionize their home country. The Communist Party, with the leadership of Béla Kun, criticized the so-called civic democratic government, and especially the Social Democrats, who suspended the class struggle by forming coalition with bourgeois parties in the fall of 1918. We can see the so-called Vörös Újság, in English Red Newspaper, that sharply attacked the Social Democrats and demanding class struggle. Because of the communist attacks, the Social Democrats ministers decided to break down the communists who were demonstrating with demagogic promises. The leadership of the Communist Party was arrested in February of 1919, but the arrest only made Béla Kun more popular among the proletariat. That fact explains when the petty bourgeois Berinkei government resigned due to a political crisis in March 1919. The Social Democratic Party did not dare to form a government alone, and the Social Democrat leadership compromised with the arrested communists and setting them free. The two parties unified under the name of Socialist Party of Hungary, Magyarországi Szocialista Párt, MSZP, and the Social Democrats and the Communists worked together in the Hungarian Soviet Republic. But after the fall of the Commune in August of 1919, the Social Democrats and the Communists blamed each other for the failure, and their relationship became hostile again. Now, at the end of the story, what international relations the SDP had? Because Greater Hungary was multi-ethnic, there were also Czech, Slovak and Romanian politicians in the Hungarian SDP who gathered in their national fractions and published their own social democratic newspapers in their languages, like the Volksstimme, which was equivalent to the Hungarian Népszava. The Hungarian social democratic politicians were permanent participants of the international social democratic conferences. During the World War I, they participated in the social democratic conferences organized in neutral countries. We can see the Hungarian delegation in the Stockholm Peace Conference in 1917. The Hungarian SDP wanted to strengthen its relations with the Social Democrats of then power, but the strongest linkages remained with the Social Democratic Party of Austria. That explains why, after the fall of the Hungarian Soviet Republic, Austria granted asylum for the left-wing Hungarian emigres. And now, what were the most important achievements of the Hungarian Social Democrats that should be remembered? I think what I think. It is a fact that the Hungarian Social Democrats in power made measures in order to improve the financial and cultural situation of the poor, wanted to democratize the public administration, and they stood up for progressive taxation. And because of considering the isolation of nation states harmful, they promoted the idea of the European integration. We can say the opening of the famous Széchenyi Bet for the proletarian children and distribution of food for the kids in the Hungarian Soviet Republic. It was a heroic age and a moral story. Thanks a lot for the attention.